Yo, Apple did what?
So it was January 2007 and Apple just announced the first iPhone.
3 separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone.
Which was, by the way, the huge milestone in the smartphone industry. I mean, the cell phone industry. But actually for me, the interest in phones and tech started way before that. I was always a tech head, so I wanted to change my devices as soon as possible. I wanted to have the latest and the greatest in the market. At the time the iPhone came up, I was rocking Nokia N76, which was actually a flip phone. Remember that? This is Motorola, but it was the closest thing I could find. My Nokia had this strange feature which I liked. It had a mirror in the front display. It was a reason I was mocked in a mid-school or gymnasium. Should I call it gymnasium? Yeah, it was gymnasium. And for the first time I had a better reason to change the phone rather than just to have a newer one. But the first iPhone wasn't available in my country. At the time of launch, it was available only in US. Later, 2007, it was released in United Kingdom, France, and Germany. The funny thing is that the iPod Touch, which was announced at the same conference, was available in my country, which was very strange. And at this point, I was so heavily invested in finding something new, I even thought about buying it, just because it was the coolest tech. And my young brain having the latest tech was equal to not being mocked. After I researched the market, it turns out that the prices of the iPhone and iPod Touch were basically the same, which meant there was no point of buying an iPod Touch. It wasn't the end of the problems with it though. The iPhone was only released in those countries I mentioned before, but it also meant that it didn't work with the local carriers. That was something that troubled me. It would mean that it might not even work, so where's the point in that? And I continued my research. I wanted to find out if it's possible to make this small device work in my local networks. And it was successful. I finally got my iPhone 2G in 2008, and after 5 minutes of owning it, I already unlocked it, and it was working in a local carrier. This is iPhone 4. It's the oldest I could find as well. But looking back in time, I feel that it wasn't a punch that turned me into computer science. I was 15 back then, and my ideal weekend was spent with my best friend, going into these second-hand shops with phones, looking at the latest tech possible. I also did that after I got an iPhone because it was something I was used to. This one time, this guy came into the shop and he asked the owner if it's possible to unlock his iPhone 2G. Which was the same phone I had in my pocket. They said that it's not possible and there is no one in our city that is able to do that. But it wasn't for me. So the owners asked me if I could repair this phone for them. I had to bring my laptop over there and do it on site because they didn't trust a 15-year-old with the newest iPhone. And I did it. I did this a couple of times. And after that, they were giving me bags of iPhone, which turned into this side job I had. So that was 2008, and I remember that back then I had this MacBook, black MacBook, not Pro, just a regular MacBook, the unibody one. And I did the image, make something like this with the newest iPhone 3G, which came out like 2 months or 3 months after I got my 2G one. And I tried to find this image on my old hard drives, on my old computers. I dug up this old iMac I had also back in the day. I tried to dug up this old iMac and try to find this image, but actually I failed. Instead, I was scrolling through old images, which make me very nostalgic. But all the hard drives were dead. So after I was pretty confident with unlocking iPhones, I actually started doing some repairs. That's where this iPhone is from. It's an old part thing iPhone. And I did it for almost 3 years. Unlocking iPhones became harder and harder, and the exploits were patched from update to update. I wasn't the one finding the exploits. I was just using them. You had to like enter the device into different modes depending on the serial number it had. It was madness. But this tinkering mindset I developed basically stayed with me to this day. Years past, my mom actually asked me, "Look, maybe you want to go to computer science at university." And I said, yeah, I mean, I did a couple of websites. I played with iPhones. I was a hacker. So yeah, that seemed like a great idea. And actually, it was a great idea. And that's where I am now, almost 10 years in the business. I mean, 10 years, it was the university years plus the day job years. It's been 10 years. So it's safe to say that without this little thing, I wouldn't be where I am. And I'm really thankful for that. I really like where I am right now. Yeah, that's what I want to say.